call you the cream colour anyway.
I don't know why.
I heard why.
I think it's by default. Don't listen to Rory Ford.
Why not? He said you get all the handy jobs and he gets to do all the suffering. And
he would say that.
he said you won't go into any paddock less than 5 hectares. He has to do anything that's small or hilly. You just get the nice jobs.
Rory's scared of the hills. He's definitely telling lies in that one. Maybe the small paddocks he made have got me there, but definitely the hilly stuff now. Rory doesn't like the hills. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, why? Actually, we just come up with whenever this machine come new. Rory was like, "Oh, we need to come up with a little slogan for the chopper." And that was what was come up with was the cream cutter.
And when did this machine come new?
Just this time last year, yeah. So I picked it up 2nd of February last year, so just before Maize. So just get straight into it. Well, basically did get straight into Maize last year because everything was so dry. And
yeah, so like this year, it's the 1st of March today, and you're only getting into it this week, really.
Yeah, I get some memories on my phone. Like just from last year, we were like halfway through this last year. Like we sort of done like the 2nd of February, and then for a couple of weeks we were just doing odd jobs. But then by the time you got into mid to late February, everything was just it was dying off, and crops were going backwards because it got so dry and drought stressed. And then everyone's just like, no, let's just get off, really.
Everyone's shouting.
Yeah, basically, everything was just going off at one time. But that was just a weather factor too.
Yeah,
we got a little bit of rain in December, but nothing really. Not enough to really make any difference. Whereas this year, it hasn't stopped raining. And you're sort of missing that. You're missing that really heat value. Really, this year is the biggest thing.
And is the yield for the maize, is it down or is it's just late?
Oh, the yields are still pretty good.
How long are you out here then?
About 8 years in September. So I came out in 2013, done 2013-2014 season. Went back home. Thought it was just pure hardship, so came back out here. Just you'd be working with Finches the whole time.
And what were you doing when you came out first? You probably weren't on a chopper straight away, were you?
Nah, you definitely don't get on a chopper straight away. I had an 828 first season and a set of tear-up butterflies. And then, done that season, then stacked for Maize. And then whenever I come back, then I got a new, same 828, but a new set of class 1100s that turned up. So I jumped on them then for the season. Butterflies as well, so then I ended up jumping on the next season onto the square baler. Did a lot of square baling and a bit of everything, and then jumped on the chopper the following season, I think.
And loving it ever since?
Loving it ever since. Especially since I got this new, you definitely need something.
I suppose it's easy when you want to get the handy jobs though.
Yes, I do. I do get my fair share of cream, I will admit that bit.
Now, where are you from back home then?
Castletown in County Tyrone. That's where the hometown is.
You'll hardly be going back there now, you're surely well settled in over here.
Nah, I'll not go back now, I wouldn't think. Yeah. Got a wee fella and all here now too, so getting my residency and all sorted, so it'll be good once that comes through.
Yeah. Is that much of a hassle now?
Oh, they've made it a little bit easier, but this time, March last year, because they made the rules a little bit easier, it's ended up there was like something like 600,000 cases lodged at the one time last year. So everyone was trying to get residency at once, like even farm staff, contract boys. And then because they made it a little bit easier, then you end up, because the rules were changing from the 2nd of March, I think. So then the guy I lodged with says there was 600,000 cases lodged at that one time, so he's like, just hope you're not in a rush. So anything up to 8 months to a year, he says, before you get it. So hopefully it'll come through soon.
How many years do you have to be working here before you can apply?
Oh, I don't think, you could probably apply as long as.
It's not like Australia where you have to.
Well, I think the residency visa is where you go, just back around. So that's not cream there, look at that.
That's not great now.
Yep. So when that happens, you're like, ooh.
Would you have many of them turn over now in the season?
No, never. Touch wood, never say never, but yeah, nah.
Never turn over?
Never a truck, nah.
Ah, you're telling me lies?
Nah.
I thought lads over here now, we turn them over every day. Just...
Nah, never seen a truck go over.
No.
I'll tell you, I'd rather take a truck than a tractor and trailer on the hills.
Yeah, I'm actually fairly surprised by how well the trucks are doing here. I know there's them couple of 6x6s, they probably go...
They go up the side of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even the likes of that 8x4 there now,
Yeah.
sure...
They'll climb easy up hills with a bit of weight in the back.
Yeah.
Like you'll take them anywhere. Like we do. This is a pretty random season. Like the ground conditions, the moisture in the ground at the minute. Like if we were in here on a standard season, you wouldn't see the trucks for dust. Like
Yeah.
like it's just the top of the ground just goes so dusty. Like so it does. Well,
But even now, like I see yesterday there, like where Rory was, I couldn't drive into the field first when it was just, say, freshly chopped.
Yeah.
An hour later, it's flying around no bother, like
Yeah.
it was drying out that fast.
Yeah. That's the same. It does dry pretty good here, pretty quick, but
The sun here is strong though, like.
yeah,
It's like whatever it is,
Yeah.
they say there's no ozone layer over
Yeah.
New Zealand or whatever, but the sun here is scorch into
I would say I'm a little bit, well, more used to it now. But if I spent the day in the sun now, I'd still burn like any other.
Yeah. What happened earlier on when you were opening up this field? Did you block it or was there
It's
weeds
just
in our...
the down plants. Because there's so many down plants, and if they're a certain direction, they'll fall. If they fall across the front, like across the front like this,
Yeah.
you can't chop it like that because it just all it does is gets on the row finder at the front.
Oh,
and the plants
yeah.
just lay down, and you can't get underneath the plants. So you gotta get out and lift all the plants off because all you're doing is bulldozing really,
Yeah.
which is no good to anybody.
Is this Finch's first 970 then?
Yeah. He bought the 980 a few years ago, but that was just solely a Maize machine.
Yeah.
Really. He it must be there four seasons now, the 980. It just sits around all year round and does maize.
And that's running the 10-row header as well?
Yeah, all 10 rows, yeah. You'd think some days, you know, you get the horsepower, you'd be, 12 would be good, but then you go in some of the paddocks and
The contour is...
contour, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't, the 10 suits us now. I don't think he'd ever go for a 12, to be honest. But yeah, I didn't think he would have went for a 970 either, and that appeared, so.
Yeah. Happy days, says you.
Happy days, as well, yeah, heaps of horsepower. There was talk about chipping it as well, but yeah, I don't think the guys turned up yet. It's on the menu.
Oh, alright.
So yeah.
Not enough power in for you now.
You've always been now, no matter how much you want or have, you always want more.
Yeah. That 980 is chipped up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's doing around 1100, they reckon, whenever they chipped it.
Yeah.
Now it can go. The biggest thing we had with that at the start was more the header, but then we picked one of these new C-flexes on it. And she's a flying machine now.
I seen it going yesterday, but like I said, he was only in the smaller paddocks.
Yeah, that's all good. He's alright in the smaller paddocks, he's fine.
So you reckon trucks are a good job?
Yeah.
Never like fell at home and never even entertained the
You
idea
have
of it.
one of
Like,
them there at home there with those tractor grips in the front and those tyres in the back of it. They're going to be the way to go. It does get a lot wetter at home too, though.
yeah,
like,
there's a
like,
lot more legislation, I'd say, around trucks stuff at home as well, and it'd be a lot harder to get drivers, and that's probably the real problem.
But yeah, that's to say you need the license as well, which we struggle a little bit. Well, you think you're struggling for truck drivers, and then you struggle for tractor drivers sometimes. But it's who wants to? It's this game, like long days, you know, beating around paddocks all day in a truck. Like you need to be interested in it. You're not just going to go and one day and say I'm going to go drive a paddock truck.
Yeah.
Like that's not really. Which is
The non-tip is a good job though.
yeah, push off. Yeah. He's started to go a lot more that way now. So it is. It's amazing. It's a good job. Like it's quick too. Like it's not to say it's slow.
No,
They're
it's
pretty
every bit as
fast,
quick
yeah.
as tipping.
Yeah,
And a lot safer.
and a lot safer. Yeah.
It's kind of a copy of the Joskin trailers
Yeah.
setup, really,
Yeah.
like, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you make them bins yourselves, or can you buy them bins like that, or?
Yeah, well, so that Volvo there, that bin got folded in Wellington,
Oh yeah.
and then it was brought up here to a guy in Cambridge, and the big guy in Cambridge did all the rest.
Oh yeah.
Whenever that Volvo come, Darcy ordered the bin. I'm sure it got folded down in Wellington, so it's one complete piece,
Oh yeah.
more or less, and then they just do the rest of the work then. So, but the bins for the likes of those tippers and stuff we have there, like Sam, the engineers, made one or two of them, and
Yeah, there's your box iron frame with your corrugated sheet,
yeah. So we do a little bit of engineering ourselves.
So Darcy, what do you do here at Finch Contracting?
Oh,
Bit of everything.
yeah, bit of everything. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the main business is agricultural contracting, which for us means grass, maize are the main two things. We do associated cultivation and other cropping and regrassing.
So at the minute the maize is fairly flat out.
Just winding into it, really.
Yeah.
Just waiting for crops to dry down enough to be ready to harvest. So, yeah.
So maize is a big part of the business. You're kind of contract growing maize, is it?
Yeah, we contract grow quite a bit on our own account, 500 odd hectares, 500 or 600 hectares on our own account, and whether that's on land we own or lease, but and then we've got at least that again, and other growers that we buy their maize off them and trade it to dairy farmers, and then there's all the stuff that's done on farm. Well, we call it on farm, where the farmer's growing his own maize for his own use.
Oh yeah. Well, most of the maize you chop, you would also plant it though, would you?
Yeah, although there's probably close to a quarter that we don't chop, and most of that are those big growers. Some of them tend to run their own cultivation and planting gear. So,
And what equipment do you run in for planting maize?
Amazon planters for the last 10 or 15 years, but we're sort of changing over to Vatasad at the moment. So we had one of them this year, and we'll get a second one for next year.
We'll have to talk about the 457.
Yep.
The real reason I'm here.
Is that the real reason, is it? Yep. Yep.
What made you buy the 457?
Well, we were buying that 970 that we wanted to use in grass as well, and sort of thinking, well, where's our pinch points coming? And really, it's around the raking and the stacking. So yeah, we tried to set out to address those issues to give ourselves a bit more capacity.
So what were you running?
To keep up with the 970 when it's going full bore in grass? Yeah.
So you were running 2 434s?
Yeah.
You still have them?
Yeah.
And when you have...
I looked at the Volvos and well, yeah, probably got fairly close to buying a L120, but JCB said, no, hang on, we've got this new one coming. If you can wait a few months, we can get you one of those. So.
How's it going for you so far? 457, are you happy with it?
Yeah, no, it's gone very well, yeah. I think it had an axle seal right in the first week, and other than that, I don't think it's had anything go wrong. I don't know, must be up to 500 or 600 hours by now. We've got one of those MDE push-off forks on it, which you've probably seen.
Yeah, so you got a 14-foot non-push-off first, was it?
Yeah.
And then you went for the push-off?
Well, the push-off ones, that we're just sort of trying it out for the people bringing Webline that are bringing those MDE ones in.
And what's the feedback so far on the push-off?
Well, the driver said it's taken a little while to get used to the different action where you're not flicking, and so and he only got it just before Maize, so I don't think he's done any grass with it yet. So no, yeah, I think he quite likes it.
Will we maybe see a second 457 in the fleet in the next couple of years?
Oh, when we get round to a replacement, yeah, we'll probably stick with that size, I would say, for our second machine.
Well, like you have the Fendt with the blade as well, I see.
Yeah, well, we'll have, there'll be 3 or 4 900 series Fents with front blades stacking as well. Yep. We run those big rollers on the back, and they're around that sort of 16, 17 ton mark, and all on 900 back tyres singles.
So if you run a big,
they do a pretty good job at that.
Yeah. If you run a big stack, would you be running the loader and then the tractor rolling behind it, or?
We rarely do that. Most of them we're just one vehicle to the stack. Yep.
I did see there a couple of days ago there was a very small stack just down the road that you were doing. Do you reckon you'd always have to keep a smaller loader like the 434? Would the 457 be too? If you were running 2 457s, would they be too big for certain places?
I don't really think so. I mean, the width is very similar. You're only talking 50 mil wider between the two, and maybe I think it's about 150 mil more wheelbase. The actual, it's looks quite a bit taller, and it looks a lot bigger sitting beside it, but the actual physical dimensions aren't that much different.
Yeah. And of course, it does look a lot bigger back.
And of course, with a loader, you can always, you lift your boom out of the way, and no, I don't really see that being an issue.
Yeah. Yep. And then at the chopping end, you're running 4 choppers, all class.
Yeah, probably we only need 3, but I don't know, a few years ago they sort of weren't offering enough for a trade, so I thought I might as well keep a spare. And typically, since I did that, we've actually have run 4 for probably a 2 to 3 week period in the middle of the Maize season. It just helps us get to places on time.
Yeah. Big chopper 980, that only does maize, does it?
Yeah. It's done very little grass since it's been with us, and it's pretty well only maize. Yep.
Would you do as much grass at all as you do maize, or do you do more grass? Or
hectares wise, we do more grass, but tons wise, we do more maize. Definitely. Yep. 6,000-7,000 hectares of grass and 2,000 of maize. But of course the maize yields 4 or 5 times what the grass does, so there's a lot more tons of maize. Yeah.
So everything here is by the ton. Everything's put over a weighbridge.
Well, all the stuff that's traded goes over a weighbridge. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're doing on-farm job, does it go over the weighbridge?
No. But often we'll provide some sort of estimate off the chopper. They all have yield measuring capacity in the chopper, so we'll supply that to the farmer if he needs that for his estimate of yield.
And then you're running a lot of trucks. You have trucks, you have trailers, you have tractors and trailers, you have tippers, you have non-tippers. It's a good variety out there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've always run a lot of trucks for cartage. I mean, it just suits our business. I mean, a lot of the grass is done in rolling country. And when you're loaded with a truck with appropriate tyres, that they get round just as well, if not better, in some circumstances than what a tractor and trailer does. Obviously, if it's particularly wet, the tractor and trailers is probably a bit better, but in the dry conditions with the load sitting on the driving wheels, we find in that rolling country you get around pretty well with the truck. So, and then when you come to maize and you've got nearly half our maize is out the gate and on the road, well, trucks sort of suit there as well. Again, you get tripped up sometimes when it's a bit wet, but
this season has been a bit wet, has it?
Yeah, it has been, but I mean, we've still got by with trucks pretty well. So yeah.
Like I did see on one job you were using trailers as well behind the trucks.
Trailers it's really for the longer carts, but then you still have to have both ends suitable to take.
Everything has to be right on the day.
Yeah, you've got to have enough room to unload them at the stack end, and obviously the paddock has to be good enough to you have to be relatively flat ground to get the truck trailers around. But we'll cart 70 to 80 cubes in a truck and trailer unit, so that's quite a bit more efficient than a 30 cube truck only.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I see your new truck outside of Volvo 6x6.
Yes.
How's that going? How's the 6x6?
Oh, well, that just gets you that little bit further when the going is tough. We've got two 6x6s, that Volvo and an Iveco, so yeah, it gives the chopper driver a few more options when he's going around the paddock. If he's got a nasty little corner, well, he juggles the truck so that he ends up with one of those going down into there.
Yeah. And is there any disadvantage to a 6x6 then, like higher maintenance or burning more fuel or anything like that?
Well, we run those big tractor tyres on the front that you would have seen as well, so obviously they don't last as long. So yeah, and there's a tear weight disadvantage is the main disadvantage. You'll give away another 1.5 tons of tear weight because you've got to cut that transfer box and front axle around. So yeah, when you're limited on your road cart to how much you can put in, then it's an issue. But they still do a lot of paddock work where they're not really restricted, and in grass often you're not up to weight anyway, so it's not much of a restriction in grass. Maize you tend to run to weight.
What are the weight limits over here now for a six-wheeler?
Well, six-wheeler and four-axle trailer, you're 44 tonne all up. Most of my units will be around that 27 tonne payload.
Over here, what are the laws like around driver's hours and stuff for trucks? Like back in Europe, we have the digital cards and the tachograph and all that kind of thing. But over here, is it logbooks?
Yes, we have the logbook system, which is basically the same, but it's just the way the driver writes down a whole lot of information in terms of recording it rather than being automated to a degree like the tachograph. But essentially, it's much the same. Yeah.
The push-off bodies then, is that something you went for just because of yards or hills or a safety thing or?
Yeah, they are quite expensive, but we lower our load height so we're more stable on the hills. You get a bigger volume and lower down, and obviously tipping off. You're never going to roll one of those tipping it off. So
and it
just pushes it out the back.
Too,
Yeah, you don't need big subframes or big beams underneath. Some of them are pretty lightly constructed, so there are some savings on tier weight next to a tipper and a bin.
Yeah.
Which helps with those 6x6s. They're not quite as heavy as you might think.
Yeah. Bales then, what are you running in balers? Are you two round balers?
Two Fusion 3s, yep, round balers, and a case 80 by 90 case square baler.
And have you always had the Fusions or had you another brand or?
No, I only ever had Fusions.
Yeah.
Only really run balers for probably the last 12 or 15 years.
Yeah.
I was all chopping before that. Someone taught me into balers.
Yeah, how did you end up getting into bales? Just seeing an opening for?
I bought out another contractor who had a couple of balers around. He had a Fusion 1 and a square baler. So yeah, that's how I sort of arrived at doing baling.
So you have a lot of Irish lads working here.
Yeah,
and you do most seasons.
Yes, we do. Yep.
How do you go about finding them lads?
Well, I think it was about 2002 or 3, somewhere around about there. We advertised in the Farmers Weekly and got a couple of lads over, and it's just sort of grown from there. Really, we don't advertise specifically over there. We have our web page that people find us.
Social media and word of mouth, friends of friends, that kind of thing.
Yep. So yeah, we only formally advertised once.
Yeah. So
yeah, works out pretty well. Yeah, most of the people that come out know someone else that's been out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many lads would you bring over every year or take on from that side of the world?
Oh, anywhere from sort of 8 to 14, I suppose,
Yeah.
is about where we end up. I mean, it gets a little bit grey because there's ones here that have been here for quite a few years, so we sort of count them as Kiwis after being here for 3 or 4 years.
Right, sure, we will leave it at that, Darcy, and thanks very much
Yep.
for having me.
No worries.
Well, you make up on this morning, Rory, to be on camera?
So Rory, what do you do around here? Because everyone said to me since I got here, oh, you have to interview Rory. And he can tell you what he does, and we can all have a good laugh. So what's that about?
What do I do?
Yeah.
Well, harvest manager, chopper driver, Finch Contracting. Drive choppers.
Yeah, but you tried this 980,
Yeah.
and this 980 only does maize. So that's
Yeah.
what, 6 weeks in the year.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you only work 6 weeks in the year.
Oh. Yeah, some people they might think I only work 6 weeks of the year. But no, I jump in the 960 for grass. But the 980 is where it's at for maize. Just big horsepower. Big
Yeah,
block-
so this
big,
is...
big blocks, but when I can get them, because otherwise.
to be fair though, the other day you were doing like trickier stuff
Yeah.
when I seen you.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't see cream culture in those blocks. He's too good for them now.
He only does the big paddocks
Hey.
and the level paddocks.
Yeah, the big ones, and he puts his name on them. He's got a spreadsheet. Cream cultures paddocks.
Oh, is that how it works?
Oh, yeah. He sits in there before maize season and highlights the ones he wants. But do a bit of everything here. I've been here 5 years. 5 years now. Started on the square baler and kind of worked from that. Come from a previous another contractor around the area, and kind of took this as an opportunity and went for it. And ever since I started here, I've loved every minute of it. And Darcy and Rachel have just if you want to learn something, they'll teach it to you. They'll pay for whatever licenses you want. If you're keen, I'll just they'll help you along the way. So so pretty much can do anything in the yard. Just whenever they need truck driver or something over winter, or a truck driver, just whatever.
Yeah, have you your full, what's over here, class 5 for truck and trailer, is it?
Class 5 truck and trailer, yeah.
So what's involved in getting a truck license over here then?
Well, I'm not sure what it's like in Ireland, but you've got like stages with all your licenses, like your learners, then you're restricted for your car license. So you can, once you have your full car license for, I don't know, I think it might be 2 years, 18 months.
Yeah.
Then you can apply for your class 2 learners, and they're all like progressions of like learners.
Oh, yeah.
Learners, and then driving time, and then you get class 2, and you got to wait another year, and then you get your class 4, which is your 6-wheeler trucks, 8-wheeler trucks, no trailer, and then after that you can get your class 5 truck and trailer. That's about it, really.
Yeah, so those take a while. It'll take you a couple of years to get up to the truck and trailer.
Yeah, but it can be quite costly, but if you find a good employer that's willing to do that stuff, they'll usually pay for all of it.
Yeah. And how would you end up then driving like this, we'll say, because Kiwis aren't really mad for silage like we are in Ireland, like any contractor you meet it here, I'll tell you, the Kiwi lads have no interest. But obviously you have interest in it.
Yeah, I've always just had a passion for machinery ever since ever since the day I was born, and I just it's been what ticks my boxes, I suppose, and it's what I enjoy doing, and it's taken me around the world. And now
So were you shopping in America as well?
Yeah, I was first year I was on a big M.
For Robinsons?
Yeah, Robinsons, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was on a big M and a trailer for the maize, and then the second year I was on a big M, and then they had for maize they had a chopper space come available, and I'm like, oh, do you want to have a go? And I was like,
You jumped at it?
May as well, why not? Darcy always told me when I was a little fella, he said, oh, you go and learn to drive a chopper in the States and you can drive one of my choppers one day.
Oh, so you had to learn over there, was it?
Yeah, so that's what I did. So.
What's this machine shipped up to?
It's about 1100.
Yeah.
We bought it second hand off another contractor, traded it in. He run newer machines and he chipped it up and yeah, I think I said about 1100, but yeah, she can definitely move.
And would you not throw a 12 row header on it for crack?
Oh, I'd love to, but you've got to get that one past Darcy. 10 rows for this year, around this area are pretty good. Just in terms of contour wise and stuff like that, you got a 12 row. Like, you could run a 12 row, there's contractors around that do run 12 rows, but
yeah.
I just, when you get into guts and dips and hollows and stuff like that, it just, can get a little bit too wide and be a little bit annoying.
What do you prefer filling now or working with, tractors and trailers or trucks?
If it's a wet area, wet challenging block, I'd take tractors and trailers, but if it's dry enough to get trucks out, I'll take trucks any day of the week.
You've got them covers or tarps on everything here. Obviously that's a legal requirement, is it?
Yeah.
For maize. Is that for grass as well or just maize?
Nah, grass as well, yes.
Oh yeah. So everything has to be covered.
Yeah, if it's not covered, you can get in trouble pretty. The police will do you for insecure load, even if there's nothing flying off, but that's just some of the laws over here. Get a bit strict on it, so.
But is it over a certain speed? Like if you're only 40k on the road, you still need to cover?
They'll do you for maize on your drawbar that falls off
Oh.
of the tractor, or maize on your roof. Like, yeah, they're pretty, they can be quite particular out here, the CVIU.
Yeah.
Which, I suppose they're only doing their job, so.
Right, Rory, shall we leave it at that? Since it's getting dark.
Can do, yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming out.